Hi guys, Mark Terrell here from Paint with Mark. I thought today we'd do a nice step-by-step oil painting and a lovely winter scene. So with that said, I've already liquid white the canvas, and again, if you want to see how I've done that, if you look at my other videos you will see that. Okay. Firstly, if you do like the videos and you think you're going to gain something from it, if you could just subscribe below and like the buttons, I'll appreciate that. So all the colours that we're going to be using today are bright red, cadmium yellow, yellow ochre, titanium white, phthalo blue, midnight black, dark sienna, vandyke brown and Alizarin crimson. I'm just going to get a bit of toilet roll out because my paints are running off my board here. That's better. Okay, but I will put the links below the video to show you exactly what paints I'm using and as I go along. So I'll also show the brushes I'm using today. I'm going to be using the 2-inch brush, a 1-inch brush, a knife, a small knife. For today we use the round brush, 1-inch round brush, a little detail brush or rigger brush as some people call it. So, with that said, let's go. So the first thing I'm going to do is get a little tiny bit of cadmium yellow. Now you really don't need a lot of paint. You're just going to tap into the cadmium yellow, a very small amount of paint on the brush, and I'm going to start up here on a nice bright area. So I'm just going to do crisscross strokes, apply colour there. Okay, now without cleaning the brush, I'm going to go straight into yellow ochre. Again, give it a tap, turn the brush over, and then I'm going to go around the outside of that. Again, crisscross strokes, looks like a face. Oh, I'm just going to wipe my titanium white. For some reason it's gone very runny today. Okay, so I'm going around here with the yellow ochre, and then what I thought I'd do, again without cleaning the brush, I'll go into some bright red, and that's a very powerful colour, and I'll put that around the outside. Some over here, go up there, lovely. Now I'm just going to get a bit of tissue paper and just wipe the excess paint out of the brush. Okay, so I'm now going to go into some black, midnight black, and pull some midnight black down, and a little bit of phthalo blue. Again, I've pulled the colour down onto the palette, and I'm just going to tap. You don't need very much paint, it's a very powerful colour, and I just want to darken the edges here. And the reason I'm doing that is it will draw you into the middle of the screen, is what we want to do later on. Again, don't panic, it doesn't look much at the moment, I know, but it will be finished. Okay, so we've got the basic colours on now. Now we've got the basic colours on. I'm going to wash the brush with odourless thinner to get all the excess paint out. You must make sure you get the excess paint out. Okay, so I've just washed my brush out of odourless thinner, and I'm going to go into a little bit of white just on the very corner of the brush. because I want to create a light spot in the middle here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of white in, and what I'll do, I'm going to blend out from the middle. Don't go inwards, otherwise you're going to have a horrible green colour. So I'm just going to go round and round, and as I go round I'm going to work outwards, and as I work outwards I'm blending. So we're blending the colours now. Working outwards. Create a lovely, beautiful sky. Again, once we've got some trees and foliage over this, it would look lovely. There, out of there. We'll just turn away the harshness. Now, while I've still got the blue on my brush, I'm just going to brush along the bottom here. And the reason is because it's going to create a little bit of a shadow area where we're going to put some snow. We'll just put a little bit more blue down here just as a shadow colour. And now I'm going to wipe the brush in some more tissue paper. Always keep loads of tissue paper just to get the excess off. And because what I want to do is just, now I've blended, I just want to go lightly over the whole canvas. Just to push all those colours back. Now, the next brush we're going to use is the 1-inch round brush. It creates some lovely detailed bushes and some great distant bushes, and that's what we're looking for today. So I'm going to dip into the black mixture again, but it's mainly black. So I'm going to put a little black on my palette and I'm going to tap, bring it out, and I'm just tapping. So I've got a small amount, a very small amount of paint in the bristles. And then I'm going to come up to this sort of area here. And then when you put this on for the first time, remember, the first time you tap it on the canvas is going to be the darkest. So I always start from the bottom and work upwards. So here, I'm going to start here and I'm going to tap. Now, think about shapes. Okay, now, people say, oh, well, what we're doing is just tapping on it. I am just tapping on it, but I'm actually thinking about the shapes I'm going to create. So, we want bushy shapes, tree type sort of shapes. And I'm going to do it all along the bottom here. A bit more paint. Create these lovely bushy areas. I'll come back to that area in a second. And all I'm doing is I'm just tapping down, okay? Just tap down. I'm going to bring it all the way along here now. Now, as I've come along here, there's not very much paint on my brush. So that is now what I'm going to go into here, because we don't want to get rid of this light area. So now I'm going to tap very lightly. very lightly, which creates more distant bushes. See, so it's very light there, so it looks like that's further away. So now I can go back into the paint and put a few more in front, which sets that back further. So I'm going to go up here. A darker ones. Okay. Okay, I think that would do. Lovely. So now we've got all our distant bushes into the background there. Just tap a couple more. Lovely. Next bit, let's get yourself a liner brush, and we're just going to put in the indication of some tree trunks and little sticks and twigs, and that will give it the depth that we're looking for. So with that, what I will do, I will use a bit of paint thinner, and I will go into some Van Dyke brown, a bit black, but what you want to make sure that it is like ink consistency, and then I will just go up from here and I will just put the indication of a few branches and twigs. Yeah. Again, just make sure that the mixture is, as I said, like ink consistency. I know you can see it on there, but very inky consistency. Hoping you can see that on the camera. Just a few here and there, bits and pieces. Again, you know, you can take more time when you do your picture. I'm just doing it here so give you an idea of what you can achieve in a reasonable amount of time. Again, you can spend a lot more time and detail on your picture when you do it. But I just thought this is a lovely quick picture for you to practice. It's ideal for beginners, and even if you're intermediates, you'll love painting this one because of the lovely colours that are in this picture. And if you're into selling pictures, these sort of pictures sell very well at craft fairs and boot fairs and places like that really, but mainly craft fairs. So if you are into selling them, but I just love teaching and painting, and that reminds me, if you do like what you're seeing on the videos, if you'd like to subscribe, I would appreciate it, and then, you know, I'm going to be doing more of these step-by-step videos for you. So hopefully you're painting along with me, but if not, watch the video, play it back, practice, just practice. Again, I'm just doing very fine bits and pieces here. Just create a bit of character to the picture. Just obviously remember that when you are doing these sticks and twigs, that obviously the branches and limbs are thinner at the top, so ideally they need to be thicker at the bottom and thinner at the top. So that's probably enough now. Give you an idea, indication. There's lots of going on in the background. Always, when you do your pictures, always step back. The ideal would be 6 foot away. So always step back from your picture, have a look what's going on, and then obviously you can see if you need to do anything or don't need to correct anything at all. Okay, now I'm going to put some snow in this picture, and a lot of people say that's really difficult, snow's really hard, but it is not hard to do. Putting snow on it is very easy. Because we've put a bit of dark in the background here, the snow's going to pick it up, and you're going to see it's very easy to do. So just clean my liner brush out. Again, keep a lot of the tissue paper to hand. Right. Next thing is we're going into titanium white. Now, for some reason my titanium white is gone very runny today. But what I'm going to do is get my 2-inch brush and I'm putting it one side, I'm turning it over, and I'm putting it through the other side. So it's becoming like a very sort of chiselled edge. Oh, you can see that on the brush. There's a lot of paint in there, a lot of paint. Don't be scared to use enough paint. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this 2-inch brush through and down and out to create the snow. So what I'm going to do is going to set it here. I'm going to push it onto the canvas, put it across and out. Instant snow. Underneath it, put it across. I'm going to load up again, pull it through, I'm going to turn it over to really load the brush up. I'm going to come a bit higher, I'll put it from here and across. It's picking up a little bit of the background colour, which is what we want. Across. Again, you may pick up a bit too much dark, so just go into the towel and wipe the excess off the towel. Go back into the white again. Really load the brush up, and again I'm going to come from here, put it down. Now what I'm doing, I'm just sort of brushing this down the lay of the land, the way that I want my land to be. And I'm going to create, I think I'll create some banks along here. So that said, we'll go for a knife, and we're going to some black. I'm just going to pull out a bit of black and just a touch of white. I'll mix it on there. Sort of, obviously you want it a little bit lighter, sort of grey colour. So now what I'm going to do with the knife is just going to pull out a little bit on the knife, and then I'm going to think, you know, where do I want my bank? And this is a very easy way of doing snow over a bank. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to scrape the colour in the canvas. Now I'm shaping it to go round where I want the bank. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm pulling it round. And really I'm scraping off the excess paint as I do it. And then I'll just pull down like this, and we're going to use that part as a shadow. Now hopefully you would have got off most of this. This is just really just so it's sort of in the canvas, scraping it into the canvas. So once you've done that, I'm going to get a 1-inch brush and I'm just going to pull straight down. Now because we've got obviously the liquid white underneath, this is going to create reflections. I'll turn the brush over the other way and I'll lightly go sideways. Okay. And then go back to my 2-inch brush. And I'll go back through the white. Okay. I'm just going to load some more liquid white on. Sorry, titanium white. Yeah. I'm just going to put some more white on my board. Okay, so some more white on my palette, and I'm going to go through one side and then the other side, and then I'm just going to do exactly the same as what we did before, just come along and just pull down. So come along and pull down over. So it looks like the snow is then actually going over the bank. Very easy. Not too worried about up here, we're going to put trees up here. I'll load it again. Both sides. Here. Down. Off. So basically I'm just sort of pulling it along and lifting off slightly. So it looks like snow has gone over the bank. Okay, you can keep going with the snow and make it as fluffy as as you'd like to. Okay, so I'm going to create a few more banks with my knife. Using the same colour again, that dark mix, and I'm going to put one out here, I think, in front, that bit down here. Okay, I think one right down here. Put it down. And then I'm going to use my brush, a 1-inch brush, and I'm just going to pull it straight down, create reflections, and I'm going to go across. Okay, now I'll put snow on top of these ones. Get the brush, a 2-inch brush, load it with titanium white on both sides, and do exactly the same as what we did up here. Basically I'm going to come from here, push, over and down. Okay, so push, over and down. Picks up a little bit of dark, which is going to act as a shadow. Again, just watch the way that the land's going. So another one here, up and over. Load some more white, here, up, over, down, over and down. And here I'm just going to brush it around, up, over and down. And then I'm just going to brush the whole area here with white, right across. Again, you can keep going to create sort of, I was calling it more fluffiness really. I'll put a bit more snow here, and because obviously snow goes around here. Okay. Now what I'll do, I think I'll do a little bit of bank up there as well, because that looks, the snow's just not floating. So again, I can just put a little bit of bank here. Dark down there. And I'll just, again, I want to try and go the same way, so I'll just brush it back. Just create dark there. You're not going to see some of that because I'll probably put some more bushes and things there anyway. So what I'll do, I think I'll put a little bush on that part there. So I'll use my round brush, I'll dip it into a bit of dark, and then what I'll do, I'll just pull this bit down a bit lower. Create another little bush there. Just sort of push that back in a little bit. Use a liner brush. A few bits and pieces up. Bits and pieces. Okay. What you can do also is, while you've got your little liner brush, to make it stand out a bit more, you can just put this underneath. Just to sort of make it stand out a bit more. Okay, so that's the snow pile done over the riverbank. In here, we just want to tidy this up a bit more to make it look more like water here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get a little tiny bit of brush, a little tiny bit of phthalo blue, a very small amount of phthalo blue. Okay guys, now we've got the snow in, I thought we'd put these trees in now, a few trees in this side here. So I'm going to use a filbert brush, and I'm just going to go into some Van Dyke Brown, dark sienna, and some black, just a dark mix. I'm not too worried about the mixing, but mainly dark. And I'm going to think about, so I'm going to put these branches and trees. So I think it would be nice if we come up here, and I'm just going to pull it down, round, put it down right into this area here, I think. Yeah. Just into this little area, something like that. Okay. Go into a bit more paint. And we'll have another bit of a branch coming down this bit here to join into him. Okay. Well, the paint you can do, obviously, a few little branches and things coming off here. Or use a liner brush as well in a moment. Just sort of get a basic shape. And I think it would be nice if we have a couple more. So we're going to do, here I have a friend here, I think we'll just pull one from here. That's there, I think. A little bit thinner, down to there. And then I think what we'll do also, I'm going to put a big one right into this area here. So go into some more paint, Van Dyke Brown, dark sienna, Van Dyke black. Again, you could use a fan brush, whatever brush you like really, but I think I'm going to sort of give it a bit of a shape and bring it down to about there. So we'll come along here, bring it round, make it a bit better as I come down, to around that area I think. A bit more paint. A bit more paint on there where I've picked up some white. And also I'm going to give me another branch coming in this bit here. I think I have another little piece coming right off the canvas here, down to this area here. Okay, so I'm now going to go into my liner brush. I'm just going to get a little bit of thinner, and again I'm going to go into Midnight Black, Dark Sienna and Van Dyke Brown. I'm just going to put a bit more thinner on. This is just a thin paint down into a oily consistency. Nice oily consistency. And just the darks, I'm just doing the darks. This is just obviously just to do the limbs, just to make it easy to do the limbs for you really. So I'm just going to start from here. I'm just going to wiggle the limbs out. Here. More paint. Go and keep adding a little bit thinner each time you're doing this. Just again, make sure it's just very, very wet. You'll find that the paint will work for you. Okay, well, I'm all different. These limbs are going to be all different, obviously. Don't want that one, so I'm going to just change that on slightly. We're going to cover some of this anyway with some foliage. This one. And do some on this one as well. Again, when you're doing your picture, you know, you can take a lot of time, you can actually think about where you're putting them. But again, I'm just here, I'm just sort of just showing you what can be done in a very short time, just basically showing you techniques to help you. A bit more thinner. You want them all sort of going off in different ways. Like that. Again, I need to do a few on here. Like so. I'll do a couple off of this. Down a bit more. I hope you're enjoying painting along with this picture. Again, if you do want to see a few more of these step-by-step videos, then I appreciate it if obviously you do subscribe below and like my pictures, and obviously share. And for those of you who live locally, I do run obviously classes, beginner classes for you all. And in 2018 I'm going to be holding some acrylic painting classes as well as oils. So for those of you that are into acrylics, we're going to be doing some acrylic paintings, which is very similar to watercolours really. I think where this is going off it is that way. I think that just about do it really. A little piece on here. Again, I don't know how much you can see, obviously from this video, the detail on here, but you know, when you do yours, you can put as much detail as you want to. So I'm just going to, down the base here, I'm just going to obviously just pull it down into the snow, and then I'll brush around it in a minute with another brush, just so it blends a bit more. Obviously it needs legs to stand on, so I'm going to add a few legs in there. Now we can also do, you can also add colour to the side, so if I go into some pure black down here, then we could just run, just holding the brush like this, and we can just run it down the side. Just to give it some depth. Down this side of this one. And if you put it on, if you put this on quite thick, it adds texture to it, so you can actually feel it on the actual painting itself. You can actually feel the actual oil itself. Okay, I think that will do dark. Again, you can mix between the darks, and then, like I said, you know, you could come into some dark sienna, and again, you know, you could go down this side with a bit of dark sienna and put different bits of colour in. Make it look more realistic. Okay. So I'm just going to clean the liner brush, a little bit of thinners, pull it out from the cloth. I'm just going to go into a little bit of white, just titanium white. There we go. And I'm just going to put a little bit of white, just on a few bits, just on the edges of the tree here, a little bit down there. There's some snow might have fallen or gathered on there. A piece up here, put a little bit in there. Side. Snow might have blown up down the side there. Who knows? Probably I've done it a bit, so don't worry. You know, you cannot mess up your picture. If you think, oh, I've done too much, you just come back in the dark, and put the dark back in again. Just work it back in. Okay. I'm just going to go back to my 1 inch brush. I'm just going to pull down, think about shadow, a little bit of shadow. I'm just going to pull down just very lightly, pull that across, just to blend it in a little bit. Same here, this one, just to sit it back into the snow. Just blends in a bit. Okay, so I think we're quite happy with the way that the trees have gone. I think that in the water here though, we could just add a little bit more to the water, and we could put a few rocks in the water there. So to do that, I'm going to use the filbert brush, or you can use a round brush, and I'm just going to clean that off. Okay, and with the filbert brush, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it through the darts, especially the black, just one side. So I'm just pulling it through the black on one side. I'm going to turn it over and pull it through the white. So you've got black one side and white the other side. I'm just going to come into here and I'm just going to do some small, little tiny rocks down here. I want to do a couple on the edge. A bigger one there. We'll do a couple there. Maybe one there. So because I've got the dark and the light, it's automatically highlighted it for me. But you can put it through the white again. I'll put it through the black, white. Make sure you put the white at the top of the brush, that's the only thing, otherwise it won't show. So with that, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to wipe the brush now again into a little bit of paper, and I'm just going to pull down very, very lightly, just to create reflection in the water, like so. And then I'm going to get a knife, and I'm going to go into a little bit of liquid white, and just literally touch it in there, get a little tiny bit on the knife. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut in as if I'm cutting a canvas. So I'm just going to cut in around these rocks. Just to create a water ripple. So I've just got some liquid white again, and I'm just cutting in a few little lines, but make sure these lines are level. Okay, I'm just putting them around the rocks, just add a bit more character to them. Piece up there, put one up there. Okay, I think I do. Lovely. So you've got some water, an indication of water around these. So there we go. Right now, the trees. See these trees. I'm going to put a little bit of foliage on there, and then a little bit of snow on top. So what I'm going to use is the round brush, and we're going to go into the black. Midnight black, and all I'm doing is I'm tapping, pulling out the paint, tapping straight down, Now, if you want it a little bit lighter and thinner, you just keep tapping on a bit of paper or your canvas. Just get a little bit lighter. And I'm just going to put a few clumps in these trees. So I'll do a few here. Now, think about where these areas are going to be. Try and think a little bit about form. Okay. We don't want too much. We don't want too much, but you need the dark to show the light when we highlight on top. So we need to put the dark in. So back into some more paint. Move some more over here. A little bit at the top there. A little bit on this one, because this is part of this tree. A little bit there. Again, not too much, but the dark set against the lovely background colours really sends it off. And all I'm doing, I'm just tapping this brush, and it's producing a shape for me. I'm going back into some more black. I'm coming to this side, cluster in there. Area around there. I think I won't bring it down anymore. I mean, I may put a little bit there. Just a little piece around this piece here. Okay. So that's all the dark put on. Again, I put them in the areas where the actual branch ends is where I've tapped in. I've come a little bit and I've just tapped in. So obviously you wouldn't want it just over here. You want to make sure that your branches end where you're putting your dark in. Okay, so I'm going to actually clean this brush in thinner. So, excuse me. I'm just a bit thinner. I haven't got a beater bucket with me, unfortunately, but I've got a lot of towels. So, because we're going to be put some highlights on, I'm not too worried about getting out all of the thinner. But if you put too much thinner, it's just all going to run down the picture. It's what we don't want. So I'm going to go into some liquid white and some titanium white. I'm going to tap it. Tap, 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 to open up the bristles. I want to open up the bristles. It's a very thin mixture. And very lightly, I'm just going to highlight the darks now. Again, think about form. So I'm just going to highlight over these. You don't need too much. Now, if a few places are a little bit too light, you can just tap back over them and it will dull them a bit more for you. Step back, always step back and have a look at your picture. Yep. Piece over here. So I think that's a finished picture. Again, I hope you've enjoyed this step-by-step tutorial today. Again, if you was painting this yourself, you'd take a lot more time, but I'm just here to show you the techniques. If you do like this tutorial and you want to see some more, if you'd like to see the next video up in the corner, Always subscribe below and like it, I'd really appreciate it. That's Mark with paintwithmark.co.uk. Thank you.